This is going to be a quick video about the Magpul PRS2 stock that they make for the HK91 and FAL. Specifically, I'm going to go into detail about the bottom two mounting points that are threaded for attachments that Magpul does not make anything for. They are threaded 1032 and they are exactly 2 inches apart center to center. So what I've done is I've purchased this BT15 rail section from AccuShot. They make Atlas bipods, and this thing seems to fit pretty good on the PRS2. However, when I put mine on, it was very loose, and it turns out that this insert here that has the 2 threaded holes is loose inside the stock. Maybe by design, maybe by oversight, whatever. So I've fixed that, and I will go over my fix. And I'll also go over some general things about this stock. So I have the G3 version, and I've already taken it apart. I will warn you that with the G3 version, if you forget how to take it apart, you do need to take out a long screw that goes all the way from the G3 butt end and goes into a nut over here. It can be easily missed, and you'll try to get it apart and you'll fail because it'll be stuck. So to get it apart, you do need to take out the fasteners in these 2 holes, and it goes together kind of like it's a little stiff, but yeah, fasteners that go in here. There's a QD that can be on either side. You take those 2 out. I'm not sure about the FAL, but on the G3 there's also a long screw that goes into the back here, the bottom one, that you need to take out. And then this piece comes off. And then there's a T-nut here with a screw, and then 2 screws here that hold a sling loop. Those need to come out. And also the cheek riser top portion, kind of like the saddle, that needs to come out because the sides of this will prevent this split piece from actually coming off. So you do need to take this off first before trying to split this. So once everything's off, these 2 halves will come apart, and you know, the internal pieces will obviously be sitting in here like so, and those just come right out. Do bear in mind, for mine, the detents for the comb and length of pull adjustment were a little bit different. I'm not sure if they're just cosmetically different, but the detents came in like a white version and a black nipple version, and the white one on mine went into the length of pull adjuster, and the black one went into the comb adjustment screw. So I'm not sure if that matters or not, and yours may be different than mine, so just note where those go, just in case they have different tensions on them for whatever reason. Okay, so everything's apart. I got the piece out with the 2 threaded holes. You can see it looks a bit different in mine than the picture because I've already modified mine. So this piece sits in here, and it sits loose. One of the things that I did was I added, I can't really see, you might have to just do this by trial and error, but there's 8 layers of aluminum ducting tape, which is it's a good tape to use for kind of like high duty or heavy duty use. It's more temperature resistant and abrasion resistant than, say, something like masking tape. But I just added 8 layers of this tape to the bottom of this to give me a little bit of kind of a spacer. So now when I put it in, it spaces off of this face back here, so I get a nice snug fit in here. That only fixes part of the problem. The other part of the problem was that this part sat proud. It actually sat out from the stock. So when you bolted something to it, like this rail, it was it was just bolted to the top surface of this, and if this thing wiggled, then the rail section would just wiggle with it. What I ended up doing was using a piece of sandpaper and a very flat surface. You can use like a, or you can use whatever you have, but a piece of glass is really nice because glass is generally pretty flat. And I just kind of sanded this whole thing down to get it to not be so proud when it sits out. And it turns out this piece is actually just plastic with two, I guess, stainless steel inserts for the threads. And this piece sands pretty fast, and so that's pretty good. And I also sanded down the sides here to follow the contour, because this stock is kind of contoured here. So just to kind of follow that contour, I sanded down the kind of the edges a little bit more, and you can see it's kind of like a little bit of a curve, if you will. You know, you can do that to your own taste. But now this whole thing no longer sits proud, and when I bolt this rail section to it, it actually is now supported by the stock. And this is just kind of like an internal nut. And then when I really, you know, when I tighten down on it, it's very secure. Again, this is probably for like the 3 other people that might have this problem, because I know this is a very niche product. But yeah, and obviously I'm going to put a monopod on mine. I don't really know what else you'd put on that lower rail section other than the monopod. But hey, whatever you want to do, if it wobbles and the wobble bothers you, this is my attempt at a fix. I hope that helps out anyone that's interested.